Hello everyone, and welcome to my guide for Ningguang. The Tianchen is loved by many for many reasons, such as her participation in almost every major Liyue story event, her alternate costume, her role and title in Liyue, and the nuke, also known as the Jade Chamber. She's been here since the game's launch, and I'm going to teach you how to throw rocks with the utmost efficiency. Her normal attack is special, as it's the only normal attack that is a combo of 1. Hitting enemies with it will grant her a piece of Star Jade, up to 3. Using her charge attack will launch all of her collected Star Jade at the enemy in addition to a large rock. Or maybe a stone, or it's a boulder at that point, I don't really know. Her elemental skill puts up her Jade Scream, which does a very good amount of damage on spawn, and it blocks enemy projectiles. Its HP scales with Ningguang's. Her elemental burst sends out many rocks from her that track down enemies and deal a great amount of damage. More pebbles are sent out if the Jade Screen is out when you use the burst. Her first Ascension talent makes that she doesn't consume any stamina if she has any Star Jades when she charge attacks. And her second Ascension talent makes it so characters that pass through the screen have increased geo damage. Almost all of her constellations are extremely useful for the most part, with one exception in my opinion. I'll point that one out when we get to it and explain myself a little when we get there. Her first constellation makes it so her normal attacks have a small AoE whenever they hit. Her second constellation makes it so her Jade Chamber's cooldown can reset on its use every 6 seconds. Her C3 and C5 are 3 levels to her burst and her skill respectively. Her fourth constellation is the one that I don't really think is good. It makes it so characters near her screen have a 10% increased elemental resistance. This is such a small difference, and in most scenarios you should either have a shield or a healer, so a 10% difference shouldn't have much impact. Her last constellation, however, is awesome. It makes it so when she uses her burst, she will have 7 Star Jades for the next time she charge attacks. Her kit and element don't really lend to her having much build diversity at all. The first build I'll talk about is a straightforward main DPS build. On field, most of her damage will come from her charge attacks and Star Jades, with some from her low cooldown low cost burst. For weapons, really you have an incredible amount of options, so I'll just point out some highlights. Any of the 5 stars are great options besides the 1000 Floating Dreams. In my opinion, I'd say the best of them is the Kagura's Verity. For 4 stars, I'd recommend the Widsith the most, with the Soul Pearl right behind it. If you were lucky enough to have gotten it during the event, the Dodoko Tails is on a similar level to some 5 stars. For a craftable option, the best is probably the Frostbearer, mostly for the amount of attack it gives. If you can have Electro-Crystallize happen often enough, the Hakushin Ring is a good option as well, depending on the team and build you go with. For artifact sets, I'd recommend going with 2-piece Archaic Petra and 2-piece of any attack percent sets. There are a lot of other options still. 4-piece Noblesse or 2-piece Noblesse combined with any of the above options is a good choice for increasing her burst damage. If you're not going to be using your burst often, then running 4-piece Shimenawas is a good option, or 4-piece Wonders is viable, but only for its 4-step bonus. On the pieces themselves, there's not much variation here: attack percent sands, geo damage goblet, and a crit crown for whichever stat you need. The only other build I can really think of to reliably run Ningguang is putting her in a slightly more supportive role, utilizing her as a burst DPS or in a quick swap team. The main reason for this is the cheap cost of her burst and its high damage. For weapons, I'd recommend Skyward Atlas the most, followed by the Widsith. Now the Widsith passive will only be useful 2/3 of the time, but its stats are still good, and when its passive is good, it's really good. Depending on the team, the Throwing Tails is a good option if someone else on the team can utilize the attack buff, otherwise the weapon options are the same as in the last build. Similarly, the artifact choices are also the same in the last build, so I'll just highlight on some of the differences. 4-piece Noblesse is an even better option now, since in quick swap teams, theoretically, everyone should be doing pretty good damage. I would not recommend going for 4-piece Shimenawas or Wonders troop either. The pieces themselves are the usual attack percent sands, geo damage goblet, and a crit hat for whichever stat you need more. Ningguang is a very core character, and is one of, if not the, undisputed best 4-star DPS character. Hopefully I helped anyone watching see the advantages of using her. If you found this guide helpful in any way, please leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, please leave a comment. I love talking about this game so much. I look forward to any feedback, and with that, bye everyone, have a great day.